So while you're there, how interested were you in shooting that weapon?
I shot it a couple times. I don't know, shooting's kind of boring. I'm more like skeet shooting, where actually something's going on. So I shot it a couple times and he did the rest.
Okay. And did you end up posting something about it being a Mother's-Son Day?
I did.
How did you feel about that day?
It was a fun day. He asked me if I wanted to go to the shooting range with him, and he's never asked just me to go before. My husband was doing DoorDash, and I felt good about it.
How many times had you been to the shooting range before that day?
Once.
And when you went the one other time, who else was present?
My husband.
So this was the first day you're the only adult going?
Correct.
Okay, so after we see obviously in the video you carry the gun in the case out. Did it have the cable lock on at that point?
No.
Okay, so what did you do from there?
This is when we're leaving?
Yeah.
I put the gun in the back of my vehicle and drove.
Explain where in the back of your vehicle.
So in the back of the SUV, it has a little thing that opens up where the spare tire is. I put it under there.
Okay, and then where did you go?
I went home.
And did you take the gun in the house?
No, I took the bullets in the house and hid them, and my husband took the gun in the house when he got home from work.
Okay, so was there a period of time that the gun was not in the home but in your car?
Yeah, probably for a couple hours.
Okay, why is that?
I just don't feel comfortable with it. I don't. That's his thing.
Okay, so on that Saturday, it was left in the vehicle, and your vehicle was locked.
Correct.
Do you know if the gun was brought into the house and put away?
Yes.
Okay, how do you know that?
My husband told me.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you watch him do anything in terms of putting it away, or if you didn't, just let me know.
No, I didn't.
Okay. The next day is Sunday, correct?
Correct.
And on that day, was there any? Do you recall any issues with the weapon? Any issues with the gun?
No.
Okay. Now, when the next day is Monday, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. What did you do on Monday?
I went to work.
Okay. And on Monday, we heard the voicemail you got. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Describe for the jury overall what happened or what you were dealing with that day.
I received a voicemail on my phone while I was at work. It was Pam Fine, one of the school counselors, calling to let me know that my son was looking at bullets in class. She let me know that they had a meeting with my son and that he said what he was doing was wrong, admitted responsibility. They gave him an example about teachers, even they brew beer at home, shouldn't be looking it up in school, and it was kind of upbeat. And then she ended up with, he understood. He went back to class. Just want to let you know. If you have any questions, please give us a call. Have a good holiday.
Okay. And on that date, did you call Miss Fine back?
No, I did not.
What was your reaction to getting that message?
It was pretty black and white. She said what happened. They seemed like they solved the problem, and I didn't have any questions.
Okay. So on that date, did you end up saying anything to James about it?
I believe I did.
Did you say anything to your son about it?
I did.
What did you? And I think we saw text messages. You said, next time, don't get caught.
Yeah, I said seriously looking at bullets in school, and then he went through a couple of texts about teachers looking at his stuff, and he was worried about he was going to get in trouble. And then I said, next time, don't get caught.
What did you mean by that?
So there's an ongoing thing in our house. Someone always asked me the trouble I would get in high school because I was a little bit of a troublemaker because I always got caught. Like all my friends could be doing the same thing and I'd be the one to get caught. So I was kind of referencing to that.
Okay. So you said that, and did you feel you had to discipline him or do anything beyond talk to him about it?
No, we talked. I listened to the voicemail and that was that.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go back for a couple minutes to talk to you about some exhibits the prosecution introduced from earlier in the year, okay? So I'm going to start with what's been admitted as exhibits 155 through 160, okay? I'm going to pop them up on the screen and we're going to just talk about each one briefly. So I'm going to go to 155. Okay, I'm going to plug my... I'm sorry. It's not, I have to plug it in. Okay, so I'm going to start with 155, okay? This was already admitted, so we're not going to belabor this, okay?
Oh, no, she doesn't have a picture of that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, it's not necessarily all this one's that come behind.
Oh. There it is. Okay, so we've already talked about this with other witnesses, so I'm going to go a little bit faster. If you need me to slow down, let me know.
Okay.
Okay? This is Miss DeRiker's email with her and Sean Hopkins. She's telling him, when you get a chance, can you call your son down and see how he's doing? He's failing my class, tries to sleep all the time in class. Sean responds, I'll catch him by the end of the day. Thanks, just a little worried. And that's that. You heard testimony about that, correct?
Correct.
Were you ever aware there was a time where your son was failing a class and trying to sleep all in capital letters all the time in class?
I can't remember what class director was, so I'd probably be aware if he was failing that class from Power School, but I was not aware that he was sleeping all the time.
So did anyone from the school let you know in May of 2021, hey, he's sleeping in class and failing?
No.
Okay, that was Exhibit 155. And would that show up on Power Schools, the emails between them?
No.
Okay, Exhibit 166. This is from September 8th, 2021. It starts off with an email from Miss McConnell to Sean Hopkins. It says, can you please touch base with Ethan Crumbley? In his autobiography poem, he said he feels terrible and that his family is a mistake. Unusual responses for sure. He writes back, thanks for the heads up. I'm in senior meetings throughout the day. I'll try to catch up with him. Were you aware this was ever a discussion or an issue?
No.
Were you aware that Mr. Hopkins ever talked to or tried to talk to your son?
No.
Did anyone ever call you to make you aware of any of this?
No.
If you heard this, how would you react, or what would your reaction be?
I'd be definitely concerned why he feels like his family's a mistake and he feels terrible. So that would be a concern to me.
Okay. So this is something you were unaware of.
Correct.
And in fact, when did you find out these emails existed?
When we started getting discovery.
Okay, so in this case.
Correct.
All right, so I want to go to 157. This is on November 10th of 2021. This is Miss McConnell sends Sean a message. Ethan Crumbley is having a rough time right now. We may need to speak with you. Sean writes back, I'm sorry I was in a meeting through the end of the day. I'll catch up with him. Were you ever made aware that there was some issue on November 10th where your son was having a rough time?
No.
Did anyone from the school ever let you know?
No.
Did you ever see anything like this prior to us getting materials in this case?
No.
If you heard your son was having a rough time, what would you do to follow up?
I would talk to my son, find out what's going on.
Okay. And I am going to minimize these for 1 second. I want to go back to some other dates that were discussed and exhibits were admitted. And I'm going to go back to March 20th. I'm sorry. We'll go in order. So March 16th of 2021, the prosecution has admitted exhibits 85, 86, 85 through 94, and let's see here. 85 shows you guys are making plans, and you say, I'm going to get drunk and ride my horse. Can you explain to the jury what you meant by that? And I'll get it up on the screen.
I was going to have some drinks and ride my horse. It was St. Patrick's Day.
I'm sorry, that's on the 17th,
Correct.
right? Okay, the 16th though, oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Okay, so explain that again. So let me get it up on the screen because I'm messing up. Okay, 85. Okay, so 85, I'm sorry, you're right. So on page 85, 432 is the page number. You write, I'm gonna get drunk and ride my horse. What was your plan that night?
I was gonna have a couple drinks and go for a trail ride with my horse.
Okay, did you do that night?
Yes.
And on people's proposed exhibit 86, or their admitted exhibit, this was a text thread between you and your son. Let's see here. This is a text where the prosecution admitted to show that your son texted you, okay, the house is now haunted. What time was that text at?
It says 6:03.
Okay.
PM. I don't know if this says -4. I don't know what that means.
Okay. And then the next text, some weird shit just happens and now I'm scared. Next one, I got some videos and a picture of the demon is throwing bowls. I'm not joking, it fucked up the kitchen. I'm just going to be an outsider for a while. Can you at least text back? Okay, do you recall this day on March 17th, 2021?
It didn't stick out to me until this whole. No, I don't. I don't recall it exactly. I just remember it ever since we got discovery on this case.
Okay, so on March 17th, there was a point when did you ever see these texts?
I probably didn't. Not at that time.
Do you recall seeing these texts at any point prior to this case?
I'm sure I did, but they weren't. No, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I saw them, but they just didn't stick out to me until this case.
Why didn't they stick out to you?
Because it wasn't anything that was anything serious. It was Ethan just messing around.
You gotta explain to the jury, how did Ethan mess around?
So he's been convinced our house has been haunted since 2015. It was built in 1920. Around that time frame, him and his friend would go down to the basement and play a Ouija board. So they thought we had a house ghost. So it was around that time when he would mess with us that things were going on in the house. Silverware was flying across the room. Doors were slamming. He actually took a video of the door and showed me when I got home, and you can clearly see where he's standing back with his phone, looking at the door that's open. You can see him walk up the door, and you can kind of see him slam it, and him trying to say, "See, our house is haunted." So it was that kind of stuff that he did.
Okay, and did that continue on into 2021 when you'd get messages like this?
Only a couple of times, but I think he just got over it. Like it wasn't. He got bored with messing around with the ghost. So.
Did you mess around with him?
Yes.
Okay, what did you do to him?
When they were downstairs in the basement playing Ouija board one night, I went and flipped the circuit breaker off in the house, and he thought it was the ghost they conjured up on the Ouija board.
Did James ever mess around with you or with Ethan?
Yeah, a little bit.
Give us an example of what he did.
He said a lamp fell off a ledge in the basement, and so he named the ghost Victoria. So he was convinced there was another house ghost. So just kind of like an ongoing, like our house ghost, we called it. My son named it Boris Johnson. My husband named it Victoria. It was just it was just like a little phase.
Was there ever a time where James pretended he got electrocuted?
Yes.
What did he do?
We were remodeling our living room, and he was taking the old ceiling fan down and having to figure out what wires go where to the new ceiling fan. And as he was reaching up, he pretended to get electrocuted, and he fell on the ground and was shaking, and I ran up and I kicked him. I don't know why I kicked him, but I did. And then he stopped, and I realized he was joking, and my son had the phone recording the whole time.
So this kind of stuff between you, your son, and your husband was like typical joking around kind of stuff.
It was.
Okay, so when you look back at these texts now and you see that there's a demon throwing bowls and things like that, now looking back, do you think, oh my gosh, he had mental issues?
No.
What do you think was going on?
Just what I said, that it was just him messing around He only did it when we weren't at home, and it was for a short period of time, and then he got bored.